All right, once again, we'd like to welcome everybody to the Dynamics CRM 2013 Ask the Experts Power Hour. Today is the final Lunch and Learn that we're doing in our series. We've had quite a few before that you can check out on Beringer Associates' YouTube website that have been involved with mobile media, social media, advanced search queries, and a couple other topics that we have been investigating regarding CRM 2013. Just as a little bit of a housekeeping item, we wanted to let everybody know a little bit more about the GoToWebinar client so that they could functionally interact with us. All attendees are going to be in listen-only mode, and if we have any questions, this is designed to be an open question forum, we'd like you to type them directly into the questions location inside of your GoToWebinar client. If you wanted to hide the client in order to give yourself some more screen space, you can do that by clicking the red arrow. If you wanted to toggle full screen mode, it would be the blue button. And in order to raise your hand, you can use the raise hand button that you see at the very bottom of the button menu. Again, this is the last of our Dynamics CRM 2013 Lunch and Learn series. We thank you all who've been loyal attendees over the last few weeks. Just a little bit before we get started, a little bit of background on Beringer Associates. We've been implementing CRM solutions since 1993. We're a Microsoft Gold partner in this capacity. In addition to that, our presence is primarily here in North America, so we do cater to places all across the United States. We're not locally limited to really anything, although we do a lot of business here in the tri-state area around New Jersey. Our solution focuses encapsulate Dynamics CRM, in addition to a couple of the other functionalities inside of Office 365, mobile solutions that are capable for Dynamics CRM as well, including the RESCO client and the Mocha client. And we also do a little bit of configuration between CRM and SharePoint. Our primary vertical focus is a wholesale and distribution solution and supply chain management, although we do deploy CRM for pretty much any industry that we could possibly imagine. Our deployment strategy are for both on-premise and cloud solutions, and we do focus, as we mentioned, a little bit on the distribution industry, which we have a pre-created custom solution for. Beringer Associates also does IT support services, 24/7 network monitoring. Essentially, we could go into your organization to help do patch management, backup support, and help desk support as well if you needed us to kind of replace an internal IT department. For CRM, we do needs analysis, project planning, implementation, data integration, migration, customizations, of course, that are needed, in addition to doing just general training and support for CRM. And we do this for 2011 and 2013 currently. Behringer also has a hosted on-premise business VoIP system. We do unified communications and integrations with CRM. This permits people to have, of course, call centers. And we do this both in on-premise solutions and off-site hosted solutions. As I mentioned before, we're very much tied into the Microsoft Office 365 environment, which is internet cloud hosting that's done by Microsoft itself. Within the Office 365 spectrum, we do Office Pro Plus, CRM Online, in addition to Exchange Online, the Office Web Application Suite, and we have heavy presence integrating Link Online solutions as well, which is a powerful communication tool which we use here internally at Beringer Associates. Today, we have 4 presenters on our panel. Robert Hess, our lead developer, Jonathan Kivani, who's a project manager on our team, myself, of course, another project manager, and the head of our CRM support team, June Chilkatowski. The objective of today's forum is to allow us to have basically any of the people that have intended to question us in whatever we like. This is essentially an open forum for people that might have questions about CRM, whether that's 2011 or 4.0 or 2013, and we'll try and answer your questions to the best of our capabilities. So we'd like to open up this forum to everybody so that you can start chiming in with whatever questions you might have. All right. I'm seeing one of our first questions coming in right here. Can I disable the Quick Create feature for accounts? I think probably one of the best people to answer this question is going to be Jonathan. Jonathan, would you mind chiming in here?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. How to disable the quick create for accounts? Yeah, all you would have to really do, and this goes for any entity inside of CRM. You can disable contacts, phone call activities, wherever it might be. All you would have to do is go into the customizations area, and if you open up the main account entity in the customizations area, this isn't the form area, this isn't the field area, this isn't the view area. It's that top level where it says accounts. And right from there, if you scroll down, you'll see an option that says allow for quick create. It's just a simple checkbox. And of course, once you uncheck that, all you would have to do is select save and make sure you select that publish button. And that's it.
All right, fantastic. Here I got another question coming in right now. Is there an offline solution for Dynamics CRM? The answer is yes. There's a couple of different choices that you have for offline solutions. Microsoft Outlook has a tool called the Outlook Connector for CRM, and that tool will allow you to download a particular installation package that will allow you to basically access the entities and records inside of your database offline. This is something that has to be implemented, however. Specific entities have to be enabled to be available in offline mode. So it's something that has to be done not only on your Microsoft Outlook client, but also on the actual back end of CRM and customization tools. There's another offline solution for Dynamics CRM, which is called the Resco client. And that's a mobile solution that will enable people to access CRM database from their mobile devices, such as Android devices, iPhones, iPads, mobile Windows devices as well. And that has an offline capability which can be customized in much the same sort of way that the Outlook can, where you have the ability to pretty much view what it is that you'd like to see in an offline database as well. Again, it's something where the entities have to be enabled, but pretty much it's capable of doing the same sort of thing as Microsoft Outlook. All right, let's see if we have any other questions come in. How many admins can a CRM system have? I think I'm going to throw this one back to Jonathan again.
Sure. There actually is no limit. All you would have to do is once you're setting up the users, you have the ability to select if the user is going to be an admin or not. And you can make every single person in your system an admin. So it's really up to you.
All right, fantastic. This is a little bit of a bigger question. I currently have a CRM 2011 system, and I'm considering an upgrade. How will our existing Dynamics CRM be affected? And there's a couple follow-ups to this, but what are the implications behind hardware versus online and working with the existing data sets? Rob, I think that this is a little bit more technical. Is this something that you'd be able to take for us, please?
Absolutely, Brendan. Thank you. And good morning, everybody. My name is Rob S. I'm the lead developer here at Behringer. And to answer your question, we do have quite a bit of experience upgrading to the different versions of CRM. We actually go back to version 1.2 and all the way through version 3, 4, 2011, and now 2013, and we've done upgrades and migrations between all of them. So specifically, the question that you're asking, what happens to the existing data during these upgrades? That existing data does stay intact. So if you're going from version 4 to 2011 or 2013, your data will not be affected. It gets a little bit tricky as far as the actual path to upgrade, depending whether you're online or on-premise. Online is easy. If you're online, Microsoft takes care of that in the background for you. So they would set up that transition date and upgrade you. I believe that right now they are current with 2013, so if you have an online system with Microsoft, then you are already running version 2013. If you're on-premise, there's a lot more to take into consideration as far as upgraded hardware, different operating systems, versions of SQL. There's a lot to take into account, but ultimately we do have experience building these types of environments and upgrading your system.
All right. Kind of as a follow-up to that, what sort of considerations during upgrade will people have to consider for custom coding or for potentially integrated third-party solutions? And I guess with those third-party solutions, would the previous ones be compatible, or is that something that needs to be upgraded?
That is a great question. Let's start with just the basics of CRM as far as customizations, which means anything that you create in CRM through the GUI interface. So customizations, which are your entities, your fields, your views, your dashboards, anything like that that you natively create in CRM, upgrades cleanly with really no intervention. Microsoft will take care of all that for you. Now, if you've deployed custom code in your system, now whether this came from a third-party provider who installed an application or perhaps just a developer, that code does need to be addressed. Microsoft has switched their APIs, and that is just a way to let developers talk directly to CRM. So if you've developed code in version 4, or perhaps in 2011, a lot of that code is not compatible now with 2013. So that's something where you'd want to get an IT professional to take a look at and give you an idea of what they need to do to upgrade it. Certainly, if you have a third-party provider that's plugged software into your system, you'd want to check with them and make sure that they have the latest release for you, just so you can plug it in and make sure that everything is compatible with your new system.
All right.
We've personally done a lot of different code upgrades ourselves, and we have that experience as well. We've seen code back from version 1.2 all the way up to 2013. And we've certainly upgraded a lot of code. So that's something we have a lot of experience with as well.
All right, thank you, Rob. Next question coming in. Is there a way to disable the exporting of accounts to Excel? John, do you think you could take that one, please?
Sure. You could limit people's ability to export anything from CRM to Excel. Unfortunately, you cannot select which entities can be exported from CRM to Excel. It's either everything gets exported or nothing gets exported. If you wanted to, you could create a custom security setting. For example, you call it the power to export. And you could assign that security role to certain users. So only those users have the ability to export anything from CRM to Excel. But again, there's no way of just limiting that option to just one entity.
All right. Next question is, how does Microsoft address mobile functionality within CRM? And I'll take that one myself. Microsoft has built in mobile forms that can be enabled for pretty much any custom entity that's in the system, in addition to most of the out-of-the-box entities that are in the system as well. And when this is enabled, it will allow you to use a number of fields that can be put onto the form, 60 fields per entity record, and up to 10 entities in total, which can be deployed and used on, again, multiple different types of mobile devices, iOS, Apple iPhones, Android, and Windows devices. And that functionality is available as long as you have an internet connection, so it's an online offering. There are a few other third-party solutions as well that Microsoft has the capability of deploying in a mobile environment. The one that Behringer has been, the most experienced at implementing would be the Resco client, and that delivers similar functionality, with the exception that it's also available in the offline mode. All right, here's the next question. Does Behringer offer support for CRM for implementations that they haven't created themselves? I think that would probably be a pretty good question to go to June. June, would you mind pitching in on that one?
Yes, hi. Hi, folks. This is June from the support side. We do support systems that have not been built by us. We do have customers who come to us later after implementations, either they wanted additional assistance and they no longer want to work with the people who implemented it, or they simply need a different area of expertise. But yes, we do have the ability to understand the systems, to drill down and see what was previously configured and offer suggestions and support for any existing CRM system.
Great, thank you. Could you tell us a little bit more about social listening? Yeah, absolutely. Again, I'll take this one myself. Social listening is a new feature that's available for CRM 2013, both for on-premise and for online. However, I don't believe it has any availability for the 2011 versions of CRM. Social listening will allow users and administrators to connect to different types of social networks, such as LinkedIn and Facebook, Twitter, in addition to your own personal blogs. And what it will allow the user to do is to track the posts that are on these social websites to kind of measure positive or negative sentiments towards your organization, and then to build, essentially a communication or support dialogue to these people that are communicating with your company via different social platforms. In addition to this social listening feature, it's also partnered with another online offering that Microsoft has that's called Behringer. Behringer, I believe, is only available in the online environment for this moment, but I think that Microsoft's going to be honing some possible on-premise solutions over the next 6 months or so. And Behringer also taps into these different types of social networks, again, Facebook and LinkedIn and your blog, in order to treat it like a service department, which is to say that if there's actually problems being logged on your Facebook or your blog, you'd be able to have this updated to somebody that's in your service department and address it as if it was a case-based issue. So those are the two types of social things that are coming to Microsoft's environment that people should be aware of, especially over the next few months, as these are new features that people will be implementing. All right, one more question. If I create a custom view in CRM, will it also be created in Outlook? That's a really good question. Jonathan, do you think you could take that one again, please?
Sure, yeah, that is a good question. And the answer is yes. If you do create a custom view inside of CRM, it will be created in Outlook. Typically, there is a 15-minute sync time between CRM and Outlook, so just give it about 15 minutes and it'll automatically appear there.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Do we have any more questions? Yeah, sure. Okay, here we go. One more coming in right now. What sort of automated processes can be created in CRM? Well, I know of a couple. So I think that the very first and most obvious ones would be the creation of workflows. Workflows can be created in CRM by having particular triggers enabled to cause certain types of actions inside of CRM. So if conditionally speaking, you wanted a particular field when set to fire off an email to a user or to potentially a client, that's the type of thing that could be done using the workflow tool. Within CRM, there's also something called the business process bar. And the business process bar is another type of process that has a visual correspondence on entities that it's related to, where you can see different sales stages or different case stages or different lead stages, for example, as they progress from one stage to the next, with specific fields that need to be captured in order to progress from one stage to the next. So that would be another type of process within CRM. There's a few other types of processes as well. I think there's actions. Do you think, Rob, do you think you could speak a little bit more maybe about dialogues and maybe about the action processes within CRM?
Sure, I'd love to talk about dialogues. That's actually one of my favorite features that really gets underutilized in the system. You might have a scenario where you have a sales rep and you want them to walk through a certain process on a call with a client. So you might have some sort of script or a dialogue that you want them to follow. So step by step they can ask the right questions and gather the right information. On top of that, you might want to give them very specific information about the account so they can actually look at the data, give the customer the correct information, and ask the right questions. So dialogues in CRM are very powerful, where you can set up these little screens where they click a button and they could walk through the process screen by screen, looking at the correct information, asking the right questions, and getting the right answers. On top of that, based on the answers that you collect from these dialogues, you can trigger certain workflows in the system. So you can go ahead and send out an email alert if a certain piece of information is received, or perhaps update some different fields in your CRM system.
All right, brilliant. The next question coming is, how do I change font colors on forms? Who would like to grab that one?
I can take that one too, Brandon,
I think I'll help out with that. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, I'd like to start off just by saying, as a developer, that kind of customization is technically unsupported, but certainly we have ways of doing it, and it's really unsupported for a reason. One of Microsoft's new features is cross-browser compatibility, and they really wanted to extend the CRM interface to really any type of browser, any type of device. So it's very difficult for them to support these kind of customizations, because really you don't know if you're going to see the information on Firefox on your Mac, or if you're going to see it on your Android phone. It's not something they support, but it is something that we can kind of get around and offer that. And I've seen it work about 95% of the time. So as long as it's something that you're flexible with, that it might not work on a certain version of a certain browser on a certain device, for that 5% of the time, it is something that we can help you with.
All right, thanks again, Rob. Is there a way to search for records based on keywords? John, do you think you could take that one, please?
Sure. So yeah, it is possible. There's a feature in CRM called Advanced Find. So if you're looking for example, an opportunity, and in that opportunity there's a word that says proposal. Well, you could create an advanced find, and you could search by the opportunity topic. And the key in the advanced find to use a filter called contains. There's certain filters that say topic equals something, if topic does not equal something. And there's also one that says contains. So if you create an advanced find that says topic contains and then the word proposal, CRM will go through every single opportunity and find every single opportunity with a topic that contains proposal, and it'll display it for you. You can change the column headings. You can see, maybe the date that it was created on and so on, and that way you can find the specific keyword and key opportunity that you're looking for.
Thank you. Our next question is, does CRM have competitor tracking capabilities? And I'll take that one because it's a little bit more complicated. Competitor entity is built into CRM. Competitors can be tracked against a number of different types of records, which is to say that competitors can be tracked against a specific product, for example. You're looking at a product and you want to know what sort of competitors are working with you in the competitive product space. That's one place that you'd be able to enter a competitor record. Competitors can also be associated to an opportunity. So for example, if you're in a service-based business instead of a product-based business and you're delivering a service, let's just say you're in IT security, you would be able to also measure potential service-based IT organizations that might be competing with you against the actual opportunities that you have inside of CRM. And then the last place that you would probably be able to want to really utilize competitors is against the accounts, so that you have an ability to kind of see who's competing against you against specific clients that you're working with. So you actually know that they're potentially business, competitors against an organization that you happen to be working with. So you'd be able to see, you had, for example, Sun Microsystems or Oracle competing against Microsoft. You'd be able to see that on the Microsoft account level inside of CRM. So that's how the competitor functionality works within the system. All right, what other questions do we have coming in here? How, is there a way to search for records just based on, well, no, sorry, I got that question already, my apologies. What considerations do organizations need to keep in mind when upgrading to the CRM 2013 platform? That's a fairly big question for us because there's a lot of different ways of doing it. Can I ask Are we looking at specifically upgrading from a 4.0 platform or 2011 platform? Okay, so 4.0. So there's a number of different things to consider, whether you're an on-premise or an online customer already. We probably want to have our development team take a look at the custom coding that's been inside of that system prior to hand to give you kind of an analysis of what might need to be changed from a compatibility standpoint. Another thing to consider when somebody's converting from an on-premise to an online platform is data storage. The online versions of CRM are subscribed to on a storage basis, on a gigabyte per month storage basis of $9.99. And so when you're converting a system into an online platform, you definitely would want to try and consider the different types of data that you have inside the system already, and whether that's something that you would be comfortable, hosting in an environment where you're paying for that storage on a month-to-month basis. So with regards to doing any types of conversions, you should definitely get in touch with us to see if our team could take a little bit more of a look at what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And especially with any types of custom coding development in the past, you'd want to make sure that that was something that could be converted correctly into the CRM 2013 online environment. And another consideration might be if you have integrations, that's something that you'd probably want to have a development team look at as well to see if the integrations can be properly migrated into an online environment as well. All right, let me just check to see if there's any more questions than that. No, I think that kind of wraps us up for the questions that we had listed today. Is there anybody else that's on the panelist team that had any questions or any best question practices that are frequently asked that they wanted to address? All right, well, I think that kind of wraps us up. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending to our Ask the Experts Power Hour. We really appreciate everybody that's been joining for this on a week-to-week basis, and it's great to see your continued attendance. We definitely appreciate it. If this was something that somebody was unable to see in your office and you wanted to share it, I will be putting this up on, again, on the Behringer Associates YouTube site shortly, and you'll be able to review this at that point in time. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Brennan.